Hello, Elm Pre-orchestra trumpets. Welcome back to your next lesson. Today we're just going to work on. We're going to start with some long tones, go on to the major scale, same as we did in the last lesson, and then we're going to learn a new piece today, When the Saints Go Marching In. All right, so let's get into it. This lesson is going to be a little bit shorter than the last one because the last one was pretty long. So let's just go straight into this one. Starting with the long tones, you guys should remember this from last week. It's going to be the same thing. So I'm going to turn the metronome on and just play along with me. The long tones on the page. 1, 2, 3. Great. Now let's go ahead and work on our C major scale. I hope we got through this last week, but we're going to do a little refresher here. If this one moves a little bit too fast to you, please go back to the previous lesson. That's going to be lesson 3. And go through that to work on the C major scale. So this time we're just going to play through it twice at 2 different tempos. We're not going to work on individual measures. So again, go back to the previous video if that's lesson 3 if you're still having some troubles with the scale. All right. So let's do this. Let's go a little bit slower. All right. So let's play through the C major scale once, and then we're going to change the tempo and do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and do that a couple times. Don't just do it once. Make sure you got it. All right, and then let's move on to a faster tempo. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Alright, and we're going to do this one more time, and we're going to focus on our articulation this time. So what that means is how we tongue the notes. So, some of you may have been tonguing, some of you may have been slurring them. So slurring would sound like this. And tonguing would sound like this. So with tonguing, you can really hear the start of each note. So we're going to do that. We're going to tongue every single note in the scale. And make sure your air is blowing all the way through. So when I'm tonguing notes, I imagine my air is going through, and my air is just blowing a straight stream, and my tongue is just there to interrupt it, right? So it's just... So my hand is simulating my tongue right now. All right, and it just blocks the air, but your lungs don't stop pushing the air out. So make sure you're thinking about that when you're playing and you're not stopping the air every single note. All right, let's play through it, tonguing every single note. 1, 2, 3. Great job. Go ahead and pause the video and repeat that as many times as you need. And then let's go on to When the Saints Go Marching In. Okay, so this is a new piece of music. You guys have probably heard it before. I'll play it for you really quickly. That's a very famous piece of music. I'm sure you've probably heard it before. If not, that's totally all right. We're going to learn it now. Okay. So we're just going to start with the first 4 measures. Just going to sight read, which means without spending too much time just looking at stuff, we're just going to read through the first 4 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. And make sure you're holding that whole note out for a full 4 beats, right? I'm not cutting it short. I'm holding it out for 1, 2, 3, 4 beats, and then I take a quick breath during the rest there. All right. Let's try the second line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, and again, holding the whole note out for 4 full beats. Third line. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's do that line one more time. Just make sure we got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then one more line to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so make sure you have all those lines down, and then what we're going to do is we're going to speed the tempo up and put them together. So the tempo is going to be quite a bit faster here. Right? So this is pretty fast. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Okay. And we're going to play the entire thing all together now. If you had any issues with it, please go back and make sure you work on each line one at a time. And once you've done that, let's go and get the whole thing done. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and quick little question for you guys, see if you can answer it. How many beats does the half note with a dot after it, the dotted half note, at the end of the third line get? So at the very end of the third line, there's a half note with a little dot next to it. And pause the video now, take a quick guess. How many beats does that get? When you unpause, I'll tell you the answer. All right, answer is 3 beats. And the reason for that is the dot adds half of the note value. So half of the note value of a half note is a quarter note. So we take the half note and we add the quarter note. So we get 3 full beats there. So the last measure of that line sounds like this. Right? So the first note gets 1 beat and the second note gets 3 beats. So it's bum, 1, 2, 3, bum, ba. Right? Bum, ba. All right. Awesome. And I'm going to put this in at the end here. This part that we're about to do is up to tempo. Boom, boom, boom. And you may be thinking, if this is up to tempo, why is the click slower than before? And the answer is because these beats, we're going to imagine these are beating half notes instead of quarter notes. So each click you're hearing is actually a half note, which means that the tempo would actually be twice as fast as this. So it's going to sound like this, right? So a whole note would get 2 beats at this tempo, and a quarter note would get half of a beat. So I'll play it for you right now. 1, 2. Alright, so you can hear how each half note, as in the second line there, do, 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 gets 1 beat. Alright, so don't go on to this part. I'm gonna trust that you won't go on to this part until you've got the slower tempos down. But once you get the slower tempos down, let's see if we can play this up to tempo here. Alright, 1, 2, ready, and... Okay. Great job. It's all right if you don't play it up to tempo. I just put that in there for any of you guys that are going way far and beyond, and you're way ahead. Go ahead and play it up to tempo there, but you don't have to. Work on the slower tempos, and great job today, guys. See you in the next lesson.